All right, Carnivore Confessions, episode 4. I think this is 4. 4, 5, 4. 4. So the last video I talked about how difficult it had been to lose weight this time around. And I decided to take a low-fat approach. Long story short, it seems to be working. I also have eliminated dairy mostly. So long story short, now the long story, I guess, which I talked about in the last video. So I was having a hard time losing weight after a certain point, and I understand that your carnivore folks or anyone in the low carb, zero carb, keto, would tell you, well, you're healing, et cetera, which is fair, but also, like, in my case, I should have been continued to lose. So in this protein sparing modified fast, it has also made me not eat dairy mostly. And that helps because there's no fat in that, right? Or rather, there's no fat in the diet. There's a lot of fat in dairy. Okay, so I'm not sure at this point if I'm experiencing the no dairy weight loss or the protein sparing modified fast weight loss. I have lost, since I started the protein sparing modified fast, which has been a couple of weeks now, over 12 pounds, which is a wonderful breakthrough on the stall that I had been on. So still down for the year I was, but now it's been, another rapid whoosh, as it were. I understand this. People say, well, it's water weight, but I've been zero carb this whole time. So I'm not sure that you would have a water loss like that. What am I doing? I am eating protein, roughly 200 grams of protein a day, somewhere between 150 to 200. I am also drinking electrolyte supplementation, so potassium, sodium, magnesium. I buy a bag of fasting salts from Amazon. You can find them anywhere. If I'm in a pinch and I don't have that bag with me, or I didn't make some sachets to bring with me, I will just use a bunch of salt if I can find it, or no salt, potassium. It's basically like the electrolyte protocol, right? Your snake juice, your LMNT, any of those sorts of things. I am still drinking diet soda, not seeing any adverse effects yet as far as weight loss goes. It's not stalling me out. So I'm not sure if it was the heavy amount of fat, the massive amount of calories, or the dairy. And I think the people that say calories don't matter in the carnivore world would say, well, it's definitely the dairy. But I am still having some dairy, very little. Every day I will have coffee, and I will make a latte most days, not every day, probably 4 or 5 days out of the week. And I use half and half, which is zero carb, and it has like a couple of grams of fat per serving. So I'm having some fat there. But overall, my fat grams are like 20 or less per day. I'm having chicken breast, white chicken breast, lean ham, which is has very little fat, extremely lean grass-fed beef, top round, or something very lean from the cow, which it's mostly been like top round. So it's grass-fed, it's local, so it's already lean. I'm having fish, white fish, like tilapia is what I've been having. Egg whites. And then I have the steak shake from Mark Bell. Steak shake has a few carbs in it, a couple grams of fat, very low, pretty high protein, animal product. I've thought about looking at some other ones to see what other low-fat ones there are out there. Whey-based protein doesn't seem to affect me. Excuse me, I'm a little tired because I haven't eaten very much. I haven't had my meal today. That's the other thing. I'm also kind of intermittent fasting most days, with the exception of the weekend, where I don't eat anything until the afternoon. And so far, I've only eaten one meal, which is some lean ham, really lean. It has 1 gram of fat per serving. and coffee and diet soda and electrolyte supplement drink today. So, it seems to be working. It's an awesome reset. It's also been like a way to get out of dairy, even though dairy is something I love. Basically, so since I'm still having the latte with half and half, my dairy intake is so low now. I was eating cheese multiple times a day there for a while, right? So, we'll have to see. But yeah, that's the carnivore confessions this time around. It's been kind of tough because it's harder than water fasting. Water fasting I've done. This is hard because you're eating. Because water fasting after 2 days, 36 hours, 48 max, you start to lose your hunger, which is great. But this kind of feels like that a little bit, but you're eating. And so, but I think what it is doing is it's helping you be okay being hungry and eating small amounts. And that would probably help your long-term, dietary goals. Excuse me, I'm yawning a bunch. So that's been a cool way to go. I'm very excited about the rapid weight loss yet again. If I find myself stalling out here, then eliminate diet soda, eliminate the half and half lattes, weigh out the protein better, get even more strict on the fat. Some people say the protein sparing modified fast. If you're doing rapid fat loss protocol from Lyle McDonald, he has the categories, right? Category 1, category 2, category 3. Category 1 is the super lean folks, right? Your bodybuilders trying to get shredded, right? But not lose the muscle. Category 2 is probably the average, or people that are somewhere in between lean and a little bit more body fat. I think it's above 15% for men. And then above that is category 3, which is like above 25% or something like that, above 22%. That's where I'm at. And so the protocol for those people is like, 6 to 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, maybe even 16 weeks of rolling this, of doing it for a while before you have to do a break. And by break, I think he means like you eat at maintenance, you eat some carbs. Now in his case, you put carbs in. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I'm not going to like start eating oatmeal and stuff for lots of reasons. One, I have the ostomy, which is very hard to manage carbohydrates and roughage and fiber. When I have an ileostomy, eating a bunch of fiber just really makes me bloated. Vegetables are out on this, which is very hard. Most people would just eat a bunch of zero carb vegetables on this protein sparing modified fast to keep themselves full. I can't do that. So this is pretty hardcore, doing low fat, high protein, no vegetables. So it's definitely rough some days, but we'll see how long I could run this, 18 weeks, 12 weeks. And if I find myself being so down or I'm experiencing adverse side effects or something like that, I'll probably add some fat in, and I'll have some more days there where I'll have like, some yolks, and I'll have ribeye, I'll have some tallow, in my food, right? Maybe I'll add some mayo to my tuna fish or my chicken that I'm eating. Just add some fat in. I think for now I'm going to try and stay away from your cheeses and your dairy like that, because they're just so addictive. It's very hard to stop eating. I mean, for me, like cheese is amazing. It's so packed full of fat, protein, and delicious vitamin K. But it is so easy to overeat because it's delicious. And I think dairy should be delicious for babies, right? They got to keep eating it. You want them to get addicted to that, so they keep eating and grow. But as adults, like, why do you think a lot of people are lactose intolerant? Well, they're not eating, A, they're not drinking raw milk nowadays, but B, like, you probably shouldn't be having a bunch of dairy. You don't need it, quite honestly. So, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I just thought I would do an update for this Carnivore Confession series I've been doing. And I'll check in again later. See you later.